The Power of Focus: How to Hit Your Business, Personal, and Financial Targets with Absolute Certainty, by Jack Canfield, Mark Victor Hansen, and Les Hewitt. Picture this: a 20-year-old kid convinced he's about to die. His name was Brent Vorey, and asthma had been his unwelcome companion since birth. While his friends were out shooting pucks and living their lives, he was gasping for air. As a teenager, he spiraled into a dark place, drowning himself in drugs, alcohol, and cigarettes that were basically putting the final nails in his coffin. Then came the night everything changed. A brutal asthma attack morphed into something called adult respiratory distress syndrome. His lungs just gave up. The hospital floor rushed toward his face, and then nothing. Complete darkness. For 15 agonizing days, he lay in a coma. When he finally opened his eyes, he'd lost 40 pounds and couldn't even speak. But here's the thing about rock bottom: it gives you nowhere to look but up. For the first time in his life, Brent had no distractions. He was forced to sit with himself and replay the terrible movie of his choices. Every bad decision, every shortcut, every just one more that had nearly killed him. And then it hit him like a freight train: I did this to myself. But right behind that painful truth came something beautiful. Never again. I want a life. That one moment of crystal clear focus changed everything. He started small, chasing a ridiculous goal: complete 12 fitness sessions to win a t-shirt. Yeah, just a t-shirt. But he did it. 3 years later, he was teaching aerobics. 5 years after that, he was competing at the National Aerobics Championships. He went back and grabbed his high school diploma, then worked his way through university. He and a friend launched a sportswear company that's now pulling in millions and supplying giants like Nike. From a hospital bed at death's door to the hero of his own story. How? It wasn't some miracle. It wasn't winning the lottery. It was the raw, unstoppable power of focus. Today, we're cracking open a book that's basically a blueprint for harnessing that power. It's called The Power of Focus, and it comes from the minds behind the chicken soup for the soul empire, Jack Canfield and Mark Victor Hansen, plus Les Hewitt, one of North America's most respected performance coaches. These guys have sold tens of millions of books and spent a combined 79 years studying what makes people succeed. Their conclusion? Shockingly simple. The number one reason people fail to get what they want is a lack of focus. By the time we're done here, you'll understand why your efforts might feel like you're trying to start a fire with scattered sunlight. But more importantly, you'll get handed a magnifying glass. Powerful, practical strategies to concentrate your energy, burn through distractions, and ignite the future you're meant to have. This isn't about grinding harder. It's about working smarter on the things that actually move the needle. It's about designing a life on purpose, not by accident. Let's start with the foundation, the cornerstone that holds everything else up. Your habits will determine your future. Successful people have successful habits. Unsuccessful people don't. It really is that straightforward. Think about what a habit actually is. It's just something you do so often it becomes automatic, like breathing. Remember learning to drive stick shift? You were all over the place, stalling out, grinding gears, sweating bullets. Fast forward a few weeks and you're shifting without even thinking about it. That's your subconscious taking over. Here's the kicker. The authors say up to 90% of our everyday behavior runs on autopilot. The way you make coffee, your route to work, how you respond to stress, it's all programmed in. And that's where things get dangerous. Because most of our destructive habits don't smack us in the face immediately. They're sneaky assassins. One cigarette doesn't give you cancer. One pizza doesn't make you obese. One thoughtless comment doesn't end a marriage. No, the damage happens slowly. It's the daily drip of bad choices that become habits, that eventually become your reality. The authors call it the live for the moment trap. We pick the instant hit of junk food over long-term health. We choose buying that new gadget over building our savings. Each choice seems tiny, almost meaningless. What's one more late night? I'll start my diet Monday. But those days pile into weeks, weeks into years, and suddenly you're 2 decades down the road, broke or sick or alone, wondering what the hell happened. What happened? One bad habit at a time. But here's the beautiful part. You can flip the script. You can turn negative consequences into positive outcomes by changing your habits right now. And the book gives us a simple but powerful tool called the Successful Habits Formula. It's got 3 steps. First, identify your bad habit and get brutally honest about where it's taking you. Don't sugarcoat it. Write it down. My habit is blowing my entire paycheck on stuff I don't need. Then write the real consequences. If I keep this up, I'll work until I'm dead. I'll live in constant financial panic with zero freedom. You need to feel the pain of that future to light a fire under yourself today. Second, define your new successful habit. Usually it's just the opposite of the bad one, like, I will save and invest 10% of every dollar I earn. Then write down all the benefits. I'll be debt-free. I'll have financial freedom. I'll control my own time. Make it vivid. Feel what that freedom would be like. Third, create a 3-part action plan to kickstart the new habit. Hoping and wishing won't cut it. You need concrete moves. For the savings habit, maybe. 1. Find a great financial planner this week. 2. Set up automatic transfers to an investment account. 3. Track my spending for 30 days to cut the fat. Pick a start date. Then start. Changing a habit isn't about white-knuckling it with willpower. It's about building a system. The authors point out that if you only changed 4 habits a year, in 5 years, you'd have 20 new positive habits working for you. Imagine that. Would 20 powerful new habits in your finances, health, and relationships transform your life? Absolutely. You're not trying to become someone else overnight. You're becoming better, one habit at a time. Which brings us to the next big question. Okay, but which habits should I focus on? The answer is beautiful in its simplicity. Focus on your strengths, not your weaknesses. The authors use the Rolling Stones as the perfect example. For almost 50 years, Mick Jagger and company have been rock royalty. Think about how they operate. When they tour the world, what do they actually do? 2 things. Record music and perform on stage. That's it. They don't drive the trucks. They don't build the stage. They don't book hotels or run cables or handle security. They hire hundreds of specialists, the best in the business, to do all that. The Stones just focus on what they do brilliantly. This is a truth most of us get backwards. School taught us to fix our weak subjects. We think we need to be well-rounded. But, as business coach Dan Sullivan says, if you spend all your time working on your weaknesses, you just end up with a lot of strong weaknesses. That keeps you stuck in mediocrity. Your biggest wins in life will come from spending most of your time on activities where you're a 10 out of 10, the things that feel effortless, that energize you, that produce outsized results. So how do you figure out what those are? The book gives us the Priority Focus Workshop. Start by listing every single activity you do in a typical work week. Most people have 10 to 20. Some have 40. No wonder we feel overwhelmed. Once you have your list, ask yourself 2 crucial questions. First, what are the 3 things I'm absolutely brilliant at? These are the activities that generate the most income and give you the most energy. Second, what are the 3 things I hate doing, resist doing, or just plain suck at? These usually drain you. For most people, it's things like paperwork, bookkeeping, or follow-up. The secret to massive leaps in your productivity and income? Eliminate, delegate, or outsource the stuff you're weak at, so you can pour more time into what you're brilliant at. This is where people get stuck. I can't afford to hire help. But the authors flip the script. If your goal is making $100,000 a year, your time is worth about $50 an hour. Why are you spending that $50 an hour time on $15 tasks, like filing papers or running errands? You can't afford not to delegate. This applies to life too. If you hate mowing the lawn or cleaning and it's eating your weekends, hire someone. Use those freed up hours to grow your business, connect with your family, or just recharge so you're sharper when you do work. The goal is creating what they call boundaries of brilliance. Decide what you do best and build a fortress around that time. This means learning one of the most powerful words in the English language, no. Say no to distractions. No to low-priority tasks. No to other people's agendas stealing your focus. It's not selfish. It's strategic, so you have more to give where it truly matters. Now you know you need successful habits focused on your strengths. But focused on what, exactly? Without a clear target, all the focus in the world is useless. That's the third strategy. You must see the big picture. Design your crystal clear future. The book shares the incredible story of Peter Daniels. Born dirt poor in Australia, he failed every single grade because of a learning disability. One teacher would humiliate him in front of the class. Peter Daniels, you're a bad boy and you'll never amount to anything. As a young man, he went into business and went broke. Tried again, broke again, third time, broke again, all within 5 years. Most people would have quit. But Peter's mindset was different. I'm learning. This is valuable experience. He convinced his wife to believe in him one more time. He went into real estate. Over the next decade, he became a multimillionaire. His secret? I scheduled time to think. I reserve one entire day each week just for thinking. How many of us ever do that? We spend more time planning a vacation than planning our lives. The authors argue you must develop what they call unusual clarity. Most people have fuzzy goals. They want to be happy or successful or comfortable, but those are just vague bumper stickers. A goal without a number is just a dream. To get clarity, try this exercise. Make a list of 101 goals you want to accomplish in the next 10 years. Go wild. What do you want to do, have, become, learn, contribute? Then create a picture goals book. Our brains think in images, not words. Find pictures that represent your biggest goals. The house you want, the places you'll visit, the person you're becoming. Put them in an album. Look at it daily. This programs your subconscious to spot opportunities that will turn those pictures into reality. The story of Glenna Salisbury proves this. As a struggling single mom, she created a picture book, a man in a tuxedo, bouquets of flowers, a Caribbean island, a photo of a woman vice president she aspired to be. 8 weeks later, a man followed her car on the freeway for 15 miles. She eventually married him. Their honeymoon? St. John's Island in the Caribbean. Soon after, she became a vice president at her company. Every picture became real. Sounds like fairy dust, but it's what happens when a focused mind knows exactly what it wants. But a big vision can feel overwhelming. To make it manageable, the book introduces the Achiever's Focusing System. It breaks your life into 7 key areas. 1. Financial. 2. Business or career. 3. Fun time. 4. Health and fitness. 5. Relationships. 6. Personal growth. 7. Contribution. The challenge. Set one significant goal in each area to accomplish every 60 days. This ensures you're not just crushing it at work while your health and relationships fall apart. It forces balance. To stay on track week to week, use the 7-day focus. At the start of each week, identify the 3 most important things to move you closer to your 7 big goals. It keeps you focused on what matters, not just what's urgent. This leads perfectly to the 4th strategy, creating optimum balance. The authors give us a daily tool called the B Alert System. Each letter represents a piece of a high-performance, well-balanced day. B is for blueprint. That's your plan for the day, mapped out the night before or first thing in the morning. A is for action, not just busy work. Focused action on what actually moves you forward. L is for learning. Every day, invest at least 20 minutes expanding your knowledge. Turn your car into a rolling university with audiobooks. Read. Learn from people ahead of you. As Jim Rohn says, all the books you haven't read won't help you. E is for exercise. Your body is the vehicle carrying your dreams. Neglect it and it'll break down. Just 20 to 30 minutes a day dramatically boosts your energy, improves sleep, and crushes stress. R is for relaxing. High achievers aren't machines, they recharge. The book recommends a TPM, a 25 peaceful minute nap in the afternoon, and take real time off, days where you do absolutely nothing work-related. Successful entrepreneurs who take more time off actually make more money because they come back refreshed and creative. T is for thinking, reflective thinking. At day's end, review. What went well? What could be better? This daily feedback loop drives constant improvement. Checking in with Be Alert each day ensures you're not just working hard, but living fully. Here's a truth all successful people know. You cannot build something great alone. The fifth strategy is building excellent relationships. Your success will be determined by the quality of people you surround yourself with. The book introduces a concept called the double spiral. Think of relationships as spirals. They're either upward spirals, things are flowing, communication is open, the relationship is thriving. Or they're downward spirals. Things start unraveling. Stress builds, the relationship deteriorates. A tornado is a powerful downward spiral. It starts small and gains momentum, sucking everything into its destructive path. Many relationships end this way. It starts with a small misunderstanding, poor communication, a broken promise. These negatives build on each other until the relationship implodes. By analyzing a past failed relationship step by painful step, you can understand the pattern and spot the warning signs early next time. On the flip side, by studying your best relationships, you can map out the blueprint of an upward spiral. What built trust? What strengthened the bond? Understand this, and you can replicate it intentionally. A huge part of building great relationships is learning to say no to toxic people. The chronic complainers, the cynics, the energy vampires who dump cold water on your dreams. If you hang around negative people, you become like them. You must consciously choose to surround yourself with positive, supportive people who believe in you. To choose the right people, borrow a strategy from Warren Buffett. Before investing in a company, he meets the key people and asks 3 questions. Do I like them? Do I trust them? Do I respect them? If the answer to any is no, he walks away, regardless of the numbers. Apply this filter to every important relationship in your life. Once you have the right people, nurture those relationships. Live by a win-win philosophy, not as a tactic, but as a way of life. Genuinely care about others' success. A powerful way to do this is the and then some technique. At week's end, ask your spouse, a key client, or your boss, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate my performance this week? Say they give you an 8. Don't get defensive. Ask the magic question. Thank you. What would I have needed to do to make it a 10? This simple question opens the door to honest feedback and shows you're committed to growth. It's one of the fastest ways to strengthen any relationship. Perhaps the most powerful accelerator is finding great mentors and forming a mastermind group. A mentor has already achieved what you want and is willing to share their wisdom. A mastermind group is a small circle of 5 or 6 ambitious, positive people who meet regularly to support each other, share ideas, and hold each other accountable. Together, these relationships form what the authors call your fortress, your total support system. Family, mentors, coaches, mastermind group, key advisors. When this fortress is strong, you become nearly bulletproof. You have the resources to weather any storm. But even with great habits, clear vision, and strong support, there's one final obstacle: our own inner demons. Fear, worry, self-doubt. This brings us to the 6th strategy, the confidence factor. The book opens this section with Nelson Mandela's powerful words. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's a habit you develop. And the first step is resolving your unfinished business. Unfinished business is all the mess you've been avoiding. The unpaid bill, the difficult conversation, the project you keep putting off. This baggage drains your energy and erodes your confidence. Fear is what keeps us from dealing with it. The book gives us a powerful truth. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. You have to step into it. Like a firefighter who feels massive fear before entering a burning building. The moment they step inside, the fear vanishes. They become completely focused on the present moment. When you confront your fears head-on, you reclaim your power. To be truly free, you must also forgive. First, forgive anyone from your past who hurt you. Holding resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It only hurts you. Second, and often harder, forgive yourself for past mistakes. The past is history. You can't change it. Learn from it and move forward. All the confidence strategies boil down to one thing. Confidence grows by doing, not thinking. Action is the cure for fear. You build confidence by taking on small challenges and winning, creating a series of victories that build momentum. This leads to the final strategies, all about action and persistence. Strategy 7. Ask for what you want. So many of us fear rejection, so we never ask for the sale, the referral, the raise, the help. But the world responds to those who ask. If you're not moving toward what you want, you probably aren't asking enough. Strategy 8. Consistent persistence. Success is often just around the corner, but most people quit right before the breakthrough. Cal Ripken Jr., the legendary baseball player, broke a 56-year record by playing in 131 consecutive games. It took over 13 years of showing up every single day, no matter what. Success is a marathon, not a sprint. It's the small daily disciplines compounded over time. This requires the integrity factor, keeping the agreements you make with yourself and others. When you say you'll do something, you do it. This builds trust with others, but more importantly, it builds self-trust, the foundation of confidence. Strategy 9. Taking decisive action. The enemy of action is procrastination. The book points out that the word procrastinate actually contains another word, castrate. When you procrastinate, you're castrating your future, robbing yourself of your power. The authors give us a simple formula: think, ask, decide, act. And finally, strategy 10, the ultimate, living on purpose. This is the pinnacle. This is about discovering your why. Your purpose is bigger than your goals. It's the driving force behind everything. When you know your purpose, your unique reason for being here, life becomes simple again. Decisions get easier. You're not just working anymore. You're on a mission. The book tells the story of Terry Fox, a young man who lost his leg to cancer. His purpose became running across Canada to raise money for cancer research. That purpose gave him the strength to run a marathon every single day on one leg for 143 days. His purpose transcended his pain and inspired a nation. When you align your daily habits with your strengths, direct them toward a crystal-clear vision, build a fortress of support, and fuel it all with an unshakable purpose, you become unstoppable. You're not hoping for a better future anymore. You're creating it, one focused day at a time. That's the true power of focus. Stepping back and looking at the whole landscape of this book, what really jumps out is its profound simplicity. In a world that worships complexity and the latest life hack, the power of focus brings us back to timeless fundamentals. It's a reminder that extraordinary achievement doesn't require some secret mystical formula. It requires discipline, clarity, and the relentless application of common sense. The most powerful lesson, for me, is the direct link the authors draw between our habits and our destiny. Your habits will determine your future is both terrifying and incredibly empowering. It's terrifying because it forces us to own our lives completely. We can't blame our circumstances, our past, or other people for where we are. Our results directly reflect our daily choices. But it's empowering because it means change is always within reach. If our future is built on our habits, then by changing a single habit today, we can alter our entire life's trajectory. The successful habits formula isn't just a productivity tool. It's a blueprint for transformation. It gives us a practical method to dismantle behaviors holding us back and install ones that will propel us forward. Another concept that hits hard in our age of endless distraction is boundaries of brilliance. We live in a time where our attention is the most valuable commodity, and everyone's fighting to steal it. The call to focus only on our strengths and delegate the rest is a radical act of self-preservation. It's permission to stop trying to be good at everything and instead commit to being great at a few things. The Rolling Stones analogy is perfect. It reframes delegation not as weakness, but as the ultimate strategy of world-class performers. So how can you start applying these ideas right now, today? Here are 3 simple actions. First, conduct a one-habit audit. Don't try to overhaul everything. Just identify one single unproductive habit holding you back. Maybe it's hitting snooze, mindlessly scrolling, or complaining. Write it down. Then use the formula. Define its opposite, your new successful habit, and identify 3 small concrete actions you can take this week to begin the change. Focus on just that one thing. Second, ask the and then some question. Pick one important relationship, a parent, friend, teammate. At week's end, find a quiet moment and ask them, on a scale of 1 to 10, how was I as a son, friend, teammate this week? Whatever they answer, say thank you. Then ask, what would it have taken for me to be a 10? Then just listen. Don't defend, don't explain. Listen. This one act can transform your connections. Third, schedule your thinking time. Like multimillionaire Peter Daniels, pull out your calendar right now and block 30 minutes sometime in the next 7 days. Label it thinking time. When it arrives, turn off your phone, close your computer, and sit with a blank notebook. Ask yourself, what do I really want? What's working? What's not? What am I focusing on? This small habit of intentional reflection is where unusual clarity is born. That was a summary of The Power of Focus by Jack Canfield, Mark Victor Hansen, and Les Hewitt. We've covered the main ideas today, but I need to be honest. A summary is like looking at a travel brochure. It shows you beautiful pictures, but it can never replace actually being there. The real magic of a great book happens in the quiet moments of reading, when a story connects with your life, or a simple sentence unlocks a new way of thinking. This summary is your brochure. It's here to help you decide if this journey is worth taking. If anything we talked about sparked something in you, grab a copy. Reading it isn't just about information. It's an experience that can fundamentally change how you approach your days, your goals, your future. The link to the book is in the description below. Also, if you found this valuable and want to keep exploring the world's most powerful ideas, hit that subscribe button. It tells us we're on the right track and ensures you won't miss our next deep dive into another life-changing book from the billionaire's bookshelf. Let's keep learning and growing together.